Woohoo! Are you ready? How about that? All right, so I'm Trace Blair. I'm your arena director. I'm joined by Jay Peters and John Mack. And I have said this some this week, but for those of you that have not been with us, you may think that the three of us single-handedly pull off this show. You would be amazingly wrong about that. Somehow in the last day and a half, we've done 82 pens of cattle we ultrasounded. We took 82 tests, 4 of which were different than the others. We did 82 speeches. We judged 82 pens of cattle, and we've got awards that have been tabulated, and it's just now 6:54 on Tuesday night. And all the while, all of that has been going on, Jay Peters and I and John Mack have been, in your view, doing none of that. Okay? All of that stuff that it took to get us to this moment is a result of our team. And our team is led by a lady named Erica Sechting. For the first time in 15 years, I don't get to point to her tonight. A month ago, she had a surgery that, believe me, none of us want. She would have my fanny if I told you the details, so I won't do that. But rest assured, if Jay Peters had had that surgery, if Trace Blair had had that surgery, the Junior Commercial Steer Show might not be the first priority that we have tonight. It is Erica's first priority tonight. With today's technology, Erica didn't really miss this show. If it's a good thing for Deanne's phone and for Erica's phone that data really doesn't get charged anymore. You remember when we used to have to pay for data? Because Erica has been here with us. This is the 2024 Erica Sechting Junior Commercial Steer Show. Would you please give me Erica, we love you and thank you, and we will see you here next year. Beth, would you give the Lord the praise and the glory for this evening?
Please bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much for the last 2 days, and I thank you for every person in this room right now. God, I thank you for this program and the last 25 years of it, instilling the value of hard work and dedication into each of its contestants, and giving them the opportunities that they deserve. God, I thank you so much for the people that are behind the scenes and that make this work, especially Erica. I pray that this competition never stops, and I pray that it continues to grow and continues to positively impact the lives of everybody that steps foot in the auction barn. Amen.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Glenn Pettis. I'm the Special Steers Sub-Chair and Livestock Steering Committee guy. I can't tell you how honored I am to see everybody here today and that you all made it here safely today. And thank you to the parents that helped us out in the back with the projects. You all are part of our family here, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate that as we work with you and learn and seeing all these new youth, the youth you bring to us every year. When you bring them, we see it. I don't think Trace said it pretty well, right? The character that we see in the children you bring to us every year and the young adults, it's hard to find in today's world. And I thank you for doing that and being part of our show here in San Antonio. Today we have our leadership team, Terry McFadden. You can please answer and introduce yourself. Sandy French. Charlie Over, and Sean Stewart. Thank you all for being here with us today. So a little numbers, this is our 75th year here in San Antonio, and we can't do it without you all bringing your children and your projects and being part of our family here at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Within that 75 years, we've committed over $255 million to the youth of Texas, and we continue. This year alone, we're committed $4 million to the youth of Texas in scholarships. We're a volunteer organization that focuses around children and the youth of Texas, and we continue to strive and make that our foundation. With anything else, Terry, back over to Mr.
Thank you, Glenn. And Glenn, thank you so much for the leadership and for the Social Committee. Everything that happened in the back of this barn, once again, you never saw me back there running cattle around. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. And by the way, this is about the 14th straight day, maybe 15th straight day that you've been here. It's a bunch of dedication that goes into pulling this off. Jay Peters and I have been friends a long time, and I just want to tell, this is going to be a rare moment where I say something kind like this, but what an honor it is to have served along his side all these years. Thank you, Jay.
There's a group of people that I want to point out right now, and I want your help. I would like all the competitors to stand up right quick. All right, congratulations you guys for being here and getting this done. But you guys did not do this by yourself. And so I would like you, and only you, to help me in thanking the people behind you, the ag teachers, the 4-H leaders, the county agents, and the parents and grandparents that made you who you are today. I would like a round of applause thanking all of the people.
Well, we had the privilege of being joined today by the Executive Director and CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. He's no stranger to this room. He's no stranger to this crowd. Colin, thank you so much for being with us again. We so appreciate you.
Thank you, Trace. I can't tell you what a tremendous honor it is to be a part of this great show. Because as I look at my role as the CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, I spend a lot of time thinking about the future of the cattle industry. And after watching all of you as competitors here today, I know the future of this industry is in really good hands. It is solid, and we all have a lot to look forward to. That's why I come back time and time again to do what little I can to try to help you continue to find your voice, to go out and advocate for agriculture. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association was established in 1898. So for 126 years, we have been the oldest and the largest national trade association that is advocating on your behalf. It was cattle producers, just like all of you sitting in this room, that formed this association in 1898 in Denver. And today, it's still cattle producers who direct this association, who lead this association, and who every year get together and debate the issues. Talk about the hot topics that we're dealing with. Many of those were topics that were the subject of your speeches today. And then we decide what position we're going to take. And the fact that we have members in all 50 U.S. states allows us to come together as that national voice, go to Capitol Hill, talk to members of Congress, talk to the White House, talk to international embassies, and let them know quite clearly where we as cattle producers stand, what we believe in as cattle producers, and more importantly, what we're willing to fight for as cattle producers. And that fight is to make sure we do everything we can day in, day out, so that way you have a future, you can stay on your farms and ranches, you can pass them down to the next generation, and we can always make sure that the cattle industry remains a viable one here in the United States, because we all know we have the best tasting product in the world. But more importantly, we have to always be aware of the detractors that are out there. As I mentioned earlier, as we wrapped up, about 1% the U.S. population is involved in agriculture these days. That means that 99% probably have no real good idea which end of the animal does what. That's where we have to come in and fill that void and make sure that the facts are being heard. Let me give you a great example of that. Many of you are probably familiar with a group called the ASPCA, American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. And I'm sure a lot of you, especially over the holiday season, saw all of their commercials. What those commercials do, they had some pretty bad-looking dogs and cats giving you some pretty sad faces. And in the background, there was a voice that simply said, for $19 a month, you can help that dog and cat. Are we sympathetic to the plight of our fellow animals? You bet we are. But the ASPCA is not putting all the facts out there. Because believe it or not, less than 2% of the over $500 million they raise each and every year even goes to a dog or cat shelter. Less than 2%. Where does the rest of it go? The rest of it goes towards their political operations in Washington, D.C. And they have formed a coalition of 40 animal activist groups who are working on the Farm Bill. Now, why does PETA, HSUS, and ASPCA care about the Farm Bill? They care about the Farm Bill because it impacts us. Their goal is to try to eliminate production agriculture. They know they can't do it in one fell swoop. It's awfully hard to tell an American they can't have their cheeseburger anymore. So they have changed their course. What they're doing now is doing everything they can to make it harder on us as cattle producers, hoping that it squeezes more and more of us out of business. That's why they are working on the Farm Bill. Matter of fact, their number one issue is to try to dismantle and change the national beef checkoff. And for those of you who got to see Dr. McAdams here today and all the great work that she has done with the Beef Loving Texans campaign, that's your checkoff dollar at work. The Beef It's What's for Dinner campaign, all the research, a lot of that you mentioned in your speeches today, funded with the checkoff dollar. They know that the checkoff has been successful in keeping demand high for our product. So if they can come in the Farm Bill and restrict our use of the checkoff, then they have us. They make it harder on us because we will not have a great tool like the checkoff to go out and advocate and promote our product. That's how the activists work. As an advocate, as a public speaker, you can have a lot of power. The ability to effectively convey a message gives amazing amounts of power. Because you can change the course of an issue. You can influence people's opinions. But with that power comes a lot of responsibility. And that's what you have learned here today, throughout this entire competition, is that you have to have the facts, you have to have the data to go in and support your position. But we always have to realize that our opposition doesn't always have that same moral responsibility that we do. But we have found time and time again, if we stay the course, if we use the facts, if we use the figures, if we use the data to our advantage, we can win. When President Biden was inaugurated a little over 3 years ago, he made climate change the subject of one of his executive orders. And at the time, climate change, from his perspective, was very much focused on methane. Talked a lot about methane today. But given a lot of the facts that we have about our true impact on the environment, about how the methane cycle really works, as we discussed up here with Dr. Rathman and Dr. Miller, we were able to take that, present the facts, and here we are 3 years later, and we don't have any greenhouse gas regulations on us as cattle producers. Because we had the facts, we advocated, we were professional, we knew what we were talking about, and we defended ourselves. And that's how we will continue to operate. But it requires all of us working together. Some of you got up here, and boy, you just made a speech and a half without even thinking twice about it. Some of you probably weren't too happy sitting up here giving a speech. Some of you, it was a little painful giving the speech, wasn't it? But as I had mentioned, we don't have that luxury of sitting back and not telling our story. And it doesn't always have to be 5 minutes in front of a big group. You can be talking to somebody at school, somebody at church, somebody in the neighborhood. Just tell them what you do, because your story is your story. They're not the expert on your story. You're the expert on your story. We take that approach, we know that we will continue to win. We will continue to push back against the detractors and ensure that our industry is strong. I don't want to leave you with the thought that it's all bad news, because it is far from being bad news in the cattle industry. I'm pretty bullish about the future of this industry. Demand is through the roof. I was talking with Mr. Vickers a little earlier, and one of the restaurants here was selling a flat iron steak for $44. Can you imagine that? And people are buying it. That's a feather in our cap as producers, because of all the work that we have done through genetic improvement to make sure that our beef is the best quality out there. People want it, they demand it, they're willing to pay the money. As long as we can maintain that, we're going to have the future. Because when it really kind of boils down to that one little nugget, that one little nugget is what we do to put a smile on people's face. We're in a pretty historic city here in San Antonio. Just up the road, the Alamo, in 1836, Colonel William Barrett Travis sent a letter talking about his plight, the Alamo, talking about the challenges. At the end of that letter, he signed it, victory or death. Think about that if you were in Colonel Travis's position. You had just told the world that if all else fails, you were going to give your life for the cause of Texas. It's pretty heavy, isn't it? It's pretty deep. But then you continue to read his letter, and there's a postscript. And all of a sudden, his entire demeanor changes. So what comes out of that letter is something that is resolved, is dire, is committed to the future. All of a sudden, he goes out and he says, hey, by the way, we found 13 beeves that we got in the walls of the Alamo, and by God, I may be dying tomorrow, but I'm going to have a steak tonight. How about that? So when you think about what we do, think about the smile we put on people's faces, the enjoyment we bring, not only to ourselves, but to 99% of others, and know that it all starts with you and what you did with this project, what you're doing today, and what you're doing in the future. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you for your willingness to come and be a part of this great show. Mr. Blair, Mr. Peters, gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to continue to be a part of it. I'm proud to be associated with such a great group of individuals, and I look forward to seeing great things out of all of them. Thanks again for having me.
That's head-rank security for us right there. Thank you, Colin, and I hope you will accept our invitation to join us again same time next year. Thank you, bud. Okay, let me introduce and talk about some of your sponsors. This is kind of unique to our show in here. Every year we have new people that come to us and say, hey, we want to be a part of this. We want to help. We want to contribute. And this is a list. I've talked to you about some of the sponsors and the contributors so far, but I want to go through them. Charles Eckel is here. Charles, stand up. I introduced Charles to those of you that were in the room today. In 1999, we didn't know how we were going to pull this off. Jay and John and I didn't know how we were going to pull it off. And we went to Lissy and Eckel, and they said, we want to be a part. And Charles came today and spent the whole day with us saying, we still want to be a part. Thank you. all these years, 25 years of listening to McCoys. Cliff Mullinex, are you in here with us? Cliff is not. Cliff, the McCoys family has been a part of this for so long. Megan McCoy Jones is my good friend. What a fantastic family, what a fantastic company, and they always want to be a part. They have donated the reserve champion. It's not a squeeze shoot this year. I mean, hold your hand up if you've got a McCoy squeeze shoot because you were the reserve champion or you've inherited one. Sure. So this year it's going to be a sweep. It's going to be a sweep system, and it's pretty cool. Producers Co-op, that's in Lavernia. That's Barry Burke. W.W. Paul Scales and Bo Sanders, they're donating a gift certificate to the third place winner. And then Capital Farm Credit. Capital Farm Credit was with us yesterday morning and did quite an interesting presentation. They donate so much to us. Bronson Vaughn is here with us. They don't just sponsor us with their money. They send their kids to us. Bronson, thank you. Please carry that message back to all of your counterparts, David Harrison and on up. Please tell them how much we appreciate your involvement. And thank you for bringing your boys to us. What a pleasure they were. All right, so let's give them a great big round of applause. So lots of years ago, you can see the memories flooding through my mind. The Perkins family walked in here with Aaron and Cole Perkins. And those, I don't know how old those boys are. They probably got kids. As a matter of fact, I know one of them has kids. They are still a sponsor. Tommy Perkins called me the other day and said, "Hey, did you get my check?" I don't even have to call him. He calls me. He says, "Did you get my check?" Because I haven't responded to him. I said, "No, I didn't get the check." He said, "Well, I sent one." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll be on the lookout for it. Thank you." And he said, "Well, let me know when it gets there." And he was a little bit antsy about it. And I said, "Okay, I'll let you know." Well, it didn't come that day. It didn't come the next day. It didn't come. Called me 2 days later. Said, "Hey, did the check come?" I said, "No, Tommy, it didn't come." He said, "All right, well, I'm gonna stop payment on it." I said, "Oh, okay. I'll let you. I mean, if it gets here, I'll let you know. But if you want to stop payment on it, that's fine." He said, "Yeah, I think I'll stop payment on it." Tommy never acted like that before. So he sent the check again, and sure enough, it arrives. Well, when I opened the check, and when I got up off the floor, then I realized why Tommy might have been a little bit antsy about his $9,000 check that he sent that I couldn't find. All right, so kiddos, in your packets that you're going to take home with you, rookies, I want y'all to really pay attention. Those of you that have known know what's coming here. But rookies, those of you that have not been here before, you don't know this. You're going to have a thank you list of your contributors in your packet. I want your commitment to me tonight that you're going to send every one of those handwritten thank you letters to these contributors before you cash your check that you're going to receive from the San Antonio Stock Show. May I have your commitment? All in favor? That's what I thought. Thank you very much. Now, second request is when you write Tommy Perkins thank you note, Tommy didn't come. Tommy doesn't want recognition. He doesn't want a banner on the wall. He does that for you because he cares about you. Don't put the amount in there. Don't tell him thank you for your $9,000 because he will tan my hide if he knew I told you. Okay? But please, make that your best thank you note. Got it? Thank you. Thank you. Woo-hoo! He's also, part of that money is going to the top record book, $500, top pen of cattle, $500, and overall rookie, $500. Okay? All right, so here we go. Next is the Brock family. The Brock family, their kids are long gone too. They were here today as they always are. Thank you, thank you. Chuck and Wendy Manganello and Ron and Sandra Bickers. That's the Bickers grandparents. Y'all stand up and wave. They're always here. There they are. There they are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I don't worry about them either. As soon as I see them every year, it happens every Monday of this competition, they both walk up and they've got their checkbooks in their hands and they've got their pens and they write me the checks and send in my pocket. Thank you guys. And we love your kids. And please tell Aiden I said that. Okay, next is Steve and Margaret Haberla. They sponsored the top rookie speech and the top speech award, both of which are $500, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about them in a minute. Crossroads Cattle Company, Chip Bowers raised a fine young man in this competition, and they are always a part of this as well. My law firm, Wigginton, Rumley, Dunn, and Blair, Ketterman, Rowland, and Westland. We are a plaintiff's law firm. Ketterman, Rowland, and Westland is also a plaintiff's law firm, and I guarantee you they've not ever gotten a single plaintiff's case out of this. But they have sponsored this thing for 20 years because I told Scott that if he would sponsor this, he would be proud of these kids, and he loves nothing more than every year to get those late notes. So thank you for doing that. I mean, Charlie and Phil and I have this kind of a joke. Phil calls himself a driver. I call myself just a trained pig. And Charlie Braber over here does not think that her service to this stock show as an assistant vice president is enough. They also give their personal funds. Thank you very, very much. And that's not new either. Leslie and Annette Little of Mike All Machining also raise kids in our program. The Stavanoas raise kids and cattle in our program. And then Jonathan Treptow and Casey Crom are two of our alumni that sponsored the Top Test Award. And then finally, Lisa and Justin Caney, and we're going to talk a little bit more about with them in just a little bit. So that's your contributors. I don't know how to thank you guys enough for all the years. It's neat to have new people, but it's such a blessing to be able to look at Charles Eckel, who's sitting on the back row, 25 years, and all of the years of support of all of you sponsors. Thank you so very much. Kiddos, give them a big round of applause. All right, let's do a roll. Let me get a screen capture. So I have right here, we're going to start with the speech contest because it's my favorite. Is that a mystery to anybody that the speech contest might be my favorite part of this thing? It is. And Colin said it so well. Whether you careered the speech today or whether you couldn't get a word out, you got better today. And as I said this morning, if you end every day better than you were yesterday, guess what? That's a good day. It's a good day for you guys. All right, so in 2009, I got a thank you note. This is one of those thank you notes that we were talking about a minute ago. 2009, this is the grand champion, Junior Commercial Steer Show Award winner. Says, when I was in the 6th grade, my ag teacher, Paul Cook, approached my parents about me doing the commercial steer show of San Antonio, and I figured out that there was a speech, and I said, no way, not doing it. Trying to convince me the speech wouldn't be so bad, Dad showed me a video of previous Hallettsville people that had given that speech. Bad idea. I said, absolutely not. No way. Well, then they said, Mom got home and she found me determined not to give a speech. And then they convinced me to just write a speech. You don't have to go. You don't have to go compete. You just go write a speech. And then we'll see how your speech is. And so I did that. Next thing I knew, I was standing before my fellow exhibitors and spectators with a microphone in my hand. My brain was on autopilot, going through the sentences that I had said hundreds of times before. And just like that, I was done. I sat back down in my chair, and I was both relieved and excited and disappointed. You know why? Because his first speech was terrible. It was terrible. This year, the speech was my favorite part of the contest. I now have the confidence and practiced ability to speak confidently in front of a crowd. This is day and night difference for me. So he was the grand champion that year. He won the speech that year. He was the overall top speech that year after 4 years before being the worst. That was the first year we gave a trailer. He won our very first grand champion trailer. And then he took that trailer home and he put his Houston steers in it, and in his old pickup drove those steers to Houston. And in Houston he won a truck. And he pulled that brand new trailer home with his brand new truck. And then we lost him. And as long as I hold this night, we will honor Tyler Bluda's memory tonight. And Steve and Renee are here to do that with me. Would y'all come and join Beth and Alex and present the top speaker? And Steve and Renee have been here every year since then, and I expect that I will be able to say that from now on as well. So Steve and Margaret Haverla had Wesley Haverla, and Tyler and Wesley competed together, and that was our family group back then. So when all of this went down, Margaret and Steve said, from now on, we are the speech contributors. So they are giving this speech award in Tyler's honor. Your top speech award. I didn't have time to look at the results. Hadley Hemphill. I've known that baby girl since she was born and loved her like my own, so forgive me. Yay. Congratulations. All right, your top rookie speech award goes to Lorena FFA, Kaylee Scoggins. I promise I don't get emotional about cows. Let's do the best cattle award now. And I'll be tough and put some gravel in my voice. All right, here we go. Top animal score, Hallettsville, Ashlyn Puska. Oh, I'm sorry. These kids keep real detailed records. You know, the point of this thing is to inject a little reality into the stock show world. That's the whole kind of goal that we had at the beginning of this. And they keep a very meticulous record book and can tell you to the penny what they spent, and will be able to tell you to the penny what they made. And they will have told you at the beginning of the project what they needed to make in order to break even on their projections. Your top record book goes to Lavaca County, Ryan Yannick. Dr. Andy Herring raised kiddos in our program as well. He's in the animal science department at Texas A&M. Was recently the interim head of that department while they were between heads, and before they hired my good friend Clay Mathis to take that job over, and Andy Herring stepped up and says, "How will I help?" And we said, "Andy, would you write the test for us?" So this test that these kiddos get to take is one of the most, I mean, it's as difficult as the girls take. I guarantee you Alex and Beth don't take a harder test there. And Andy builds that for us. Thank you, Dr. Herring. Your top test goes to Hallettsville, Mr. Jake Ressler. We also give a top rookie test that also takes $500. All of these awards, if I've forgotten to mention that, are $500. Your top rookie test, Groveton FFA, Mr. Stephen Page. Look at that. Good job. Way to go. Okay, and now we give an overall rookie award too. Stephen won the rookie test. Let's see who won the top rookie. Hey Stephen, where are you going? Come on back! Stephen Page is your overall rookie this year. All right, that's the end of the individual awards that we have tonight. But we do have a pasture to packer contest, the carcass contest. The results will come out when the results come out, kind of like when this banquet started, when we were ready. When the results are ready, we'll send them to you. And the winner of that also gets $1,000. So we'll announce that when we get the results. Okay, let's do it. 10th place takes home $500 in premium money. Randall County 4-H, Miss Hope Leghorn. Hope's a senior, and it's one of my saddest things to see her walk up here for the last time. It truly is. Hope, what a joy you have been to this competition all these years. Ninth place, $550 in premium money. Graham, FFA, Mr. Brazier George. Eighth place. Gets $600 in premium money. Randall County 4-H, Mr. Mason Wolf. this series of boys came through today, I said something. I said, the big boys are bringing it. And they did. Johnson County, 7th place, takes $650. Mr. Jet Davis. Sixth place, $700 in premium, Comal County 4-H, Alexandra Kelly. Fifth place, $750 in premium, Spring Lake FFA, Emma Stevenson. So I look back through my results from last year at your 4th place winner. It was Landon Caney from Hallettsville. So a year ago right now, I was handing Landon Caney his 4th place award. And we lost him. And I talked about him yesterday morning, and I'm not going to do that whole presentation again. I'm going to do the part that I didn't do. See, I'm a girl dad. One of them's over here, the other one's at Texas A&M tonight, and I wish she was here. And as a girl dad, you look at all the boys. You look at them, you study them. And you think I'm joking, maybe it's kind of funny, but it's serious. And all of you guys that have girls know what I'm talking about. You study these boys. And there's not a whole lot of boys that you trip through that are good enough for your daughters. And so, it's happened time and time again in this room where I find, my goodness, why aren't we tripping through these kind of boys? And that was the kind of boy Landon was. I went to that funeral and I walked around getting to know him. Because there's 82 of you and I have a day and a half to do this, I don't get the time to know all of you kids like I wanted to. And when we lost Landon, I was mad at myself because I didn't know him well. And so I got there early and I went and I learned about him. And I knew him well about the time that service started. And Justin and Lisa comforted all of us that were there. We were there to comfort them and try to come up with something to say to them. And they came and hugged me, comforted me. And know that there's not enough boys like Landon for us to lose them. That's the highest compliment I can pay him as a girl dad. So y'all come and help me present this 4th place award because Justin and Lisa and Lauren said, we want to be part of this from now on. And Lisa and I kind of brainstormed, how can we do this? And she came up with, how about a memorial 4th place award? So I'm about to hand the 4th place exhibitor, the very first 4th place Landon Caney Memorial Award. I love y'all and thank y'all for doing this. What an honor. $800 in premium, and the very first ever Landon Caney Memorial 4th place award goes to Jake Wesley. And that's another one of those boys, by the way. Jake, you know why you didn't win this competition this year? Because God wanted you to have that award. That's right. Okay, your 3rd place winner gets $850 in premium and a gift certificate to WW Paul. We're not doing that same scale anymore because they have something different, and Bo Sanders will get with you on that, but that gift certificate will get you something neat from WW Paul. Goes to Hallettsville, Ashlyn Puska. Good job, baby. Your reserve champion gets $900 in premium. A McCoy sweep system that's pretty cool. I've got a sheet. I left it at the back table. Don't let me forget to give it to you. A plaque, a banner, and a beautiful reserve champion buckle. Lavaca County 4-H, Mr. Ryan Yannick. Before I announce the grand champion, at the end, when we're finished, they will have your packets at the back, and you're welcome to look at your scores. We're pretty transparent around here. Win, lose, or draw, we give you back everything, and we'll stay and visit as long as you would like to. Thank you so very much for bringing these good kids to us. This is why we do this, and it is such an honor and privilege to stand before you and serve in this capacity. Your grand champion, 2024 Junior Commercial Steer Show winner gets $1,000 in premium, a plaque and a banner and a trophy buckle and a grand champion trailer. And this year actually gets the scholarship because he hasn't won one before, Mr. Levi Goldberg. Folks, that's your 2024 Commercial Steer Show. Please bring them back next year. We love you all. Thank you for coming. Good night. Folks, somebody left a phone in the ladies' room and it has disappeared. If you were in the ladies' room and found a phone and brought it out of there, would you please bring it to me? Thank you.